So last time we discussed 4 models of governance. They were hierarchies, markets, networks, and partnerships. And they were divided on the basis of 2 criteria. One was whether they were centralized or decentralized, and the other was whether they were status quo oriented or change or innovation oriented. So partnerships and hierarchy are the models which favored order and continuity and status quo, while open networks and markets promoted change and innovation. Similarly, decentralized models were partnerships and networks, and centralized models were markets and hierarchical state. So now we discuss hierarchies. Hierarchies have been with us from ancient times. They are top-down structures with command and control. So somebody is in command, usually one person, and then rest of the people obey them. Military is the best example of hierarchy. So there is no role of dissent. Whatever the higher official says, rest of the people have to accept. So what about the hierarchical state? So a hierarchical state is a network of relationships. So there are lots of relationships available in a hierarchical state. But every relationship is organized in a hierarchy. So there may be different departments, there may be different ministries, other bodies, but in every body there will be people who will be at a lower level, and they will be commanded by some other people, and then those people are again commanded by somebody else, and in the end there will be one single person at the top. A hierarchical state has also rule-based decision making. So there are rules, and the best example of hierarchical rule-based is the bureaucracies. So bureaucracies obey rules. One person can come and go, but the rules don't change. You may have a deputy commissioner here today, next time he is transferred, then another come after 2 months, but the rules will not change. His powers will not change. Whatever he or she is doing will not change. So a new person will come and will behave, in theory at least, in exactly the same way as the person before. There are clear lines of responsibility. So in a hierarchical state, because of hierarchy, everybody knows who he or she commands and who he or she is answerable to. So the lines of responsibility are clear. Then there is discipline. Of course, if there is rules, there are rules and responsibilities. Without discipline, this may not work. So discipline is very important. So anybody who moves out of the way, doesn't obey rules, is to be punished or eventually taken out of the hierarchical state. Then there is a culture of course, related to this rule-based discipline is the culture of control. Organizational structures don't change easily. So a hierarchical state will not change its rules or organizations easily. So they are more or less permanent. And all these things bring in predictability and uniformity. So even if you come after 5 years, a deputy commissioner or a secretary will be doing the same thing as before. So when you join a bureaucracy, they ask you, if you ask them what you want to do, they will tell you, just look at the previous files, what is being done before, just do it again. So these are the ways of a bureaucratic or hierarchical state or organization. So elected representatives are a part of this hierarchical state, but they are not a permanent part. So their relationship with this hierarchical state is more temporary, and their influence on the hierarchical state is less than of the other persons because they are there only for a few years.